What's up guys, my name is Stoody. I'd like to welcome you all back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be reflecting on the year 2024 and my possible plans for the year 2025. Now, Jesus, if I remember the 1st of January 2024, a lot has changed since then. Like a lot in my life has changed. My life is completely different to what it was 1 year ago. So on January 1st this year, I was coming off the worst year I've ever had. And it had nothing to do with YouTube or anything like that. And I don't really want to talk about it on YouTube. Only a few of my really close mates on YouTube know about it. But 2023 was the worst year ever for me. So going into 2024, hopefully it was going to be better. And it certainly was a lot better. It wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better in general. So basically, I like to talk about how good YouTube was for the year, how good life was, and all this other sort of thing. So basically, 2023 was definitely my best YouTube year because I gained I think it was about 1,300 subscribers that year. But this year, I only gained 600 subscribers because I had 1,720, I believe, when the year ended. I'm currently at 2,336 or something like that right now. But that could change over the next week or so because I'm currently recording this on the 22nd. You guys might get this tomorrow, actually. Not 100% certain. All this video might actually come out on Christmas Day. I don't know. We'll wait and see, I guess. So basically, on January 1st, what was I thinking? Because I was still living in the shithole Bogan Bay, or Harvey Bay, if that's what anyone wants to call it, but I call it Bogan Bay because it is full of bogans. So I was still living in that shithole, and at that time I don't think I knew I was going to be moving to Melbourne. I think it wasn't until March is when I knew that I was going to be moving down to Melbourne, but January, what did I think was going to happen? I definitely planned that I was going to the Gold Coast in March to watch the opening round game between Richmond and Gold Coast. And that probably was going to be the highlight of the year, had I have stayed in that shithole. What else would I have done? There's no way I would have went to a Big Bash game this year. There's no way I would have went to any other Richmond games. And there's no way I would have been able to do some other cool stuff that I was able to do throughout the year as well. The first few months were whatever, I guess. I can't even remember how I went on YouTube. YouTube this year was a bit weird because I got 2 strikes on this channel. So I had to quit this channel for 2 months until one of my strikes expired. I believe that happened literally when I went down to Melbourne to find a job. I think from March 9th to May 9th, I couldn't use my main channel. I had to use what is currently my podcast channel as my main channel for a couple of months. So that was a pretty rough period of time for YouTube there because I wasn't gaining any subs really. Well, actually I think I gained 50 subs on my main channel while it was, had no videos on it, which is pretty weird, but yeah, I'd take it any day of the week. But it was during the peak of the AFL community season, reasonably early on in the season is usually when most of the views and subs are around. There's still plenty of subs and views throughout the whole AFL season, all the way until grand final day, but it's especially around early in the season, the first month or two. It was the week of round 1 that I had to quit that channel because I remember I did my opening round tips and all that sort of thing on my main channel, and then on my next channel, my podcast channel, I did the round 1 tips and all that, and I went all the way to round 8 before I was able to go back to my main channel. So literally the peak of the season, the first month or two, I couldn't even use my main channel. So that definitely stunted the growth a little bit. But I was able to get going. I got to 2,000 subscribers. I can't remember the exact date. I think it was sometime in May. But I hit the 2,000 subscriber milestone, something I was so close to doing on my previous channel before that got falsely taken away from me. I got the 2K that I was after, and I was pretty happy with that. My main goal for this channel was 2,000 subscribers, and I got there. So the reason I started this channel is because I was going to quit YouTube, but I still felt like I had unfinished business, and I feel like I've gone ahead and have finished that unfinished business now. I definitely, if I was to retire from YouTube now, I'd definitely be satisfied with what I've done, with what I've achieved. But at the same time, the reason why I haven't fully retired yet is because, I'd be kind of bored without YouTube because I've been doing it for so long. Now, it would just be weird to not do YouTube. I mean, what would I do? It makes sense for me to sell my computers and all that sort of thing. And I just miss it too much, I think. Yeah, I definitely miss it if I wasn't doing it, which is why I came back when I quit a couple of years ago for 4 months. But yeah, I'm definitely happy with the way the channel is, the subscriber count, what I've achieved, even though the channel has started to drop off the last few months. Uh, I've achieved everything I've wanted to achieve, really, so I'm satisfied. And I don't think I would have left the AFL community if I wasn't satisfied with the way my channel was. Like, when I hit 2,000 subscribers, that was like, yeah. At that point, I felt like I could quit whenever I wanted because I'd like reached my goal. I'd proven everyone wrong. Yeah, I'd got back to where I should be on YouTube. So basically, I moved down to Melbourne at the end of May. And yeah, I was so happy to get out of my shithole town and start a brand new life. Found a new job and am pretty happy at my job now. Just the people there are a lot nicer, a lot better, and there's just not as much bullshit to deal with. Like, you don't have to deal with anywhere near as many fuckheads where I am now as I did up in Bogan Bay. Like, in Bogan Bay, like, it was so fucked. I was cranky all the time. I used to count how many people would piss me off in one day. My record was 69. But the thing is, I don't bother here because, like, there's no way I'll ever get 69 people to piss me off in a day down here. There was also there was a few fuckheads where I used to work up in Bogan Bay. But then, like, as it got towards the end, it did get a lot better. Quite a few of the fuckwits left. But it still had all the extra bullshit involved that I don't get down here. Like, just the extra bit of bullshit that just pisses you off. I do have to drive a lot further to go to work now. And obviously I have to spend way more money on petrol. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, it is worth it to live down here and not have to deal with so many fuckheads. But then the cool shit that I got to do that I would never get to do in Bogan Bay is go to the footy every week. Like, pretty much every week there's a game on, or there's games on every day of the weekend. So I could choose if I wanted to go or not. And I'd go to as many Richmond games as I could. I probably could have went to a couple more, but I didn't want to. Mainly because I didn't want to deal with fuckheads. Because I know how feral the North Melbourne fans are, for example. That's the reason why I didn't go to Richmond versus North Melbourne. Because I didn't want to deal with those fuckheads. And I knew we'd get robbed that game as well. As you guys would have seen, that was the only live reaction stream I did for a Richmond game that year. I did a couple of others for neutral games, but that was the only one for the Richmond game. And you can see how fucked that game was. And if some fucking North Melbourne feral ran his mouth, I would have knocked him out 100%. And also the Hawthorn game later on in the year. I definitely could have went to that, but I chose not to because I didn't want to deal with the Hawthorn fuckwits. And we're always getting robbed that game anyway. So there was no point. I did want to go to the Richmond Gold Coast game, but I couldn't because of work. And good thing I didn't go to it because it was a shit game anyway. Although most of the AFL games I went to were shit, I know next year and in years to come they'll be better. I did go to a couple of really good neutral games. I went to Collingwood versus North Melbourne. That was a really good game. Collingwood came back from 54 points down to win. But then he had to deal with all the feral North fuckwits that were sooking 100%. And then, I went to... It was Carlton versus Port Adelaide. Carlton were led by like 31 points and then Port came back and won that game. That was a good game as well. The other two neutral games I went to were blowouts. So, I mean, they weren't that great, but there were some good things that happened in those other two games. So basically, I got to meet for the first time other AFL YouTubers. I never thought I would, to be honest with you. I thought if I ever was to meet them, it'd be like I was on a trip down to Melbourne and I got lucky or something like that. So the first AFL YouTuber I ever met was Cardman22. I met him at the Hawthorn versus Sydney game in round 8, I believe. It might have been round 7. Yeah, round 7, it was the Anzac round. Sunday night, Sunday twilight football. So I met Cardi at halftime of that game. Took a photo, had a little bit of a conversation. And yeah, he was a nice bloke. Yeah, we were sitting like reasonably close to each other, like a few sections away. Like he was sitting in the Hawthorn cheer squad. I was sitting like a few sections away from it on the forward pocket. And he reckons like he saw me a couple of times before then. And so we decided to meet up. He wanted to like just outside my section. And like I'd never actually met anyone from the internet in real life before. So like my heart was pounding quite a bit. I was like, what's going to happen here? And then I saw him and I'm like, holy shit, here he is. Someone who I've been talking to online for quite a few years. Here he is in real life. Because especially when you live so far away, you never actually expect to meet these people in real life. They're just internet mates or whatever. And then after that, King Goals with Nick, another YouTuber in the AFL community who I've been mates with for quite some time, he was coming down to Melbourne. So I said, well, if you want, you can come stay with me. So, because I had that spare room. So what ended up happening is that he met me outside of my work. And then I drove from my work to my house. So, yeah, it was pretty cool meeting Nick and having him stay over for a weekend. He was the first bloke to ever meet Creed from the AFL community. We went to a few games together. We went to that Carlton versus Port Adelaide game. And then we went to another game. Before we went to the next game, I filmed a podcast with him, which was pretty cool as well. That's on my podcast channel. You guys can see that. And then we went to St Kilda versus Essendon. On that day, I met heaps of AFL YouTubers because there's a lot of AFL YouTubers that I know that are Essendon or St Kilda supporters. Obviously, Cardi. Then you've got Scoops. And you've got, obviously, Sammy GFC, who's an Essendon supporter. So, basically, me and Nick went there. I was talking to Sammy on Instagram. He really wanted to meet. We met outside, I think it was Gate 9. So, I met up with him, and it was pretty cool to meet him as well. He was a really nice bloke in real life as well. And then I met one of Nick's mates, Tom. I have spoken to him online as well. So it was pretty cool to meet him. I knew like who he was from online. And then we went and met up with Cardi after that. Yeah, we all, I guess, hung out, chatted, talked about footy or whatever for a while. Then the game started, so obviously me and Nick went to our seats and watched the first half. One person who I really wanted to meet was Scoops. And he was at the game. So like I was talking to him on Instagram and he planned on coming to meet me at half time. Like he was talking to other people like Cardi and all that. And they all sort of planned to come meet outside where me and Nick were sitting. Like outside our section. So yeah, halftime comes. Me and Nick, we walk up. So Nick wanted to get some food. So he went and bought some food. I didn't really want to get food because it was absolutely packed at halftime. Yeah, like getting food from the footy at halftime is pretty difficult. It's a lot better to just get it before the game. Here I am looking around. Trying to see Scoops. I'm like, what way is he coming from? He's probably coming from that way. And he did come from that way that I thought he'd come. And he's like, hey, stranger. When he saw me, I'm like, how's it going? Now, a lot of Scoops' haters, they think he's like a really small guy or whatever. He wasn't that small. And he's a nice bloke, like in real life. He wasn't weird or anything like that. He definitely loves wrestling because he told me how he came up with the idea for his music video that he did. Like he loves wrestling and obviously he loves footy as well. And then Cardi and Sammy and all of them came up, and yeah, we just chatted and all that. I also met Geordie Pluto. He wasn't sure whether I still hated him or not, which I didn't really hate him because like it's hard to stay mad over beef that happened like 3 years ago. So I'm like, yeah, look, if he wants to meet me, like I'm cool to meet him. And he did come. We shook hands. It was a little bit awkward, but I am happy that I did end up meeting him. But yeah, that was a really cool day and definitely probably the highlight of the year for me. That weekend when Nick came over, I went to 3 AFL games. The next day we went to Collingwood versus Richmond. So me and Nick went. My dad went as well. So we watched the game, obviously, and then on our way back, we went on the train. Obviously, so basically from Jollymont station, you can't get to my station. You have to go to Flinders Street and then go to my station. So at the Flinders Street station, someone comes up to me and says that he's seen my videos and asked for a photo. So I said, sure. So he took the photo. We talked a little bit about the game that had just happened. And yeah, that was really cool. I've never actually had that happen. It's the only time I've had it happen. So it was really cool that someone actually recognised me. We weren't even at the game, or at the train station, not even the Jollymont station. So yeah, all of that happened on that one weekend that Nick was over. After that day, like the day after Nick left, started getting really sick. I was sick for like 2.5 weeks straight. It was shit. I only went to one other AFL game after that. That was the Richmond St Kilda game, and I ended up in one of Cardi's vlogs as well in that game. So I think that's the first time I've been in Cardi's vlogs, except for like his vlog where he went to America and like my song was being played in it. But yeah, that was pretty cool as well. And yeah, although Richmond had a really shit year, like it was really good to be able to go to a lot of AFL games, and surely next year Richmond get at least a couple more wins on the board, and hopefully I can at least attend a Richmond win next year. And obviously I went to my first Big Bash game just recently, so and it was a Brisbane Heat win, a pretty comfortable win as well. So I was very happy with that. First time I've actually walked out of the MCG with a winning feeling. So yeah, how good was that? I plan on going to the Heat Renegades later on. Well, it'll be next year in January. So I think it's like one of the last games of the regular season. So I'm going to be looking forward to that one too. Since it's on Saturday at like 5 o'clock, I'll probably have to go there solo. But yeah, it's been a really good year, other than, Richmond playing really shit. Other than that, it's been a good year, and although YouTube hasn't been the greatest year, I don't really care that much. If my views/subs aren't as quick these days, it doesn't really matter. I've had my fun, I guess. So there is one question that a lot of you guys are going to be asking. Am I returning to the AFL community? The answer to that is maybe. And here's why. I sort of miss it a little bit. I miss, talking about footy and that sort of thing. There's a few videos that I would have wanted to make if I was in the AFL community, but obviously I didn't because, I'm not in the AFL community. Views on my basketball/cricket videos are a lot lower, and I don't get as much interaction with them. Like, there is a few fans that have remained loyal throughout the AFL off season, like commenting on my NBA videos, my cricket videos, that sort of thing, which I have appreciated. But I feel like a lot of people have jumped off since I've left the AFL community. Some people might say, oh, the views are down because it's the off season. Well, the thing is, I'm making cricket videos, and it is not the cricket off season, and I'm making NBA videos, which is not the NBA off season. So you'd think if people weren't jumping off the bandwagon, those videos would have more than 100 views. I mean, a few of them have gone over 100. Mainly my playoff games in the NBA in my career. But like the regular season games, like some of them only have 50 views. And since I stopped making AFL videos, my best performing videos were a mukbang and a twister eating challenge, which isn't that great. And then my next best performing video is my BBL 14 ladder and finals predictions, which has 143 views, which during AFL season would not be very good by my standards. So yeah, views are definitely down. When views are down, like you don't get as motivated. And it's like, what am I going to do when AFL season starts? Because there will be no cricket. It'll just be NBA. And like interest in NBA does die down by the time AFL season is on until we get to the playoffs. And then the playoffs will end like June. And it's like, what do I do for the next like 5 months until like October when the season comes back? So when it comes to the AFL community, if I do come back, it'll be under like strict rules. I won't be doing what I was doing. I definitely won't be doing the Richmond match reviews because they're extremely stressful. If I do tips, I'm hoping that the method I used to use way back in the day is the website is working properly again. Because like I'd way rather that than actually have to explain all my tips. And explaining all my tips seems to make people very, very salty. And obviously I plan on quitting the Supercoach community in terms of AFL. I can still do AFL fantasy though. I don't know. We'll wait and see if I change my mind on Supercoach, but I definitely will do AFL fantasy if I decide to return to the AFL community. But here's the thing, I'm not returning to the AFL community yet. And if I do decide to, it won't be for at least another month, maybe 2. Hopefully there's less rant videos on the channel as well. I mean, it's getting close to the 50th episode in the space of, I guess, 2 and a bit years. Probably a little bit more than what I wanted to do. And when it comes to exposed videos, I only made 2 exposed videos this year. I believe the 2 were on Caruso San and Supercoach DR. So that's perfect. I think 1 or 2 exposed videos per year is good. It's not 50 or so in a couple of years like I did on my previous channel. And yeah, because of how hectic like my time in the AFL community has been, like my internet life, like over the last say 7 or so years, I'd want it to be more chill, if you know what I mean. Less drama, more chill. So if I ever come back to the AFL community, that's going to be like what my plan is, to try and find a way to make it more chill for me. And yeah, but at least for the next month, I'm going to be fully cricket and some NBA as well. And I will continue to do the NBA 2K series throughout the AFL season if, even if I rejoin the AFL community for whatever reason. But yeah, that's basically 2024, 4 years old. It's been a really good year. I've moved down to Melbourne. I'm loving it. I mean, a lot of cool shit to do in Melbourne. I mean, if this video comes out before Christmas, Merry Christmas to you all. If it's come out after Christmas, I hope you all had a great Christmas and hopefully you have a really good new year. I know I have a feeling that 2025 is going to be a really good year. Hopefully I can do some more collabs with some other YouTubers in 2025. So if anyone is keen, let me know. If anyone wants to be on my podcast, let me know. I'm more than happy to, think of something cool for us to do. If you're keen to collab, I don't care if you're a massive YouTuber or a really small YouTuber, or if you're not even really a YouTuber at all and you just want to feature on the channel. I'm more than happy to have you. But yeah, thank you to the people who did help make this such a great year for me. And I'm looking forward to 2025, 100%. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment like this. Be sure to become a channel member. Just click the join button next to my name. Also, be sure to subscribe to my other YouTube channels. Be sure to subscribe to my podcast channel, King Snacks with Stoody. Also, be sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, Stoody Archives. Links to both of those will be in the description. Also, be sure to join my Discord server, East Coast Australia Sports Community. Link to that is in the description. Also, be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Twitter and I also have TikTok. The username for all those is Stoody YT, and links to all those will also be in the description. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.